This is the second video on how to build a text-based task manager. In a few minutes, we will cover all the logic part, or as they say, the backend. Firstly, head to your Linux subsystem, or if you're a Linux user, head to your Linux. If you haven't installed the packages or the Linux subsystem, you can check out my previous video. First of all, we want to make a directory and call it to-do list. Then head to that directory, and now we want to create two files, backend.h and backend.c. That backend.c clearly is a C file, but that .h file is a header file. A header file simply is where the logic is declared so that other C files can use it. So here is how our .h file will look like. We will ramp it in a condition. So this one tells the compiler that if backend_h is not defined, then this one says then define it now, and here is where the condition ends. To actually get into that logic, we need to manage our entities, but since C is not an object-oriented programming language, we don't have the option of classes, but we can still use something called a struct. And our main entities are clearly task and subtask, but we may also need some extra entities for our different needs that we will see. I will define a struct of task like this. It will has a subtask index, and this subtask index is the index of the 2D subtask array which holds these subtasks. There will be a 2D array which will hold our subtasks, and this 2D array is like this, that there are for example 10 arrays inside of it. Each of them are for one specific tasks, so we will kind of link these tasks to their subtasks with this subtask index. The next thing we will need is existence, and it's called existence, which will be 0 or 1. Then it will have a string for description, and one integer as priority. This will be used for managing how important that task is. And of course we need a status. You could manage this status with integer to like what we did for existence, but like this you won't need to use an extra variable. So this one will be empty space, or if I find that, or one capital X. And we also need to manage the deadline. For that, I'll define another struct called date, and that date struct will hold day, months, and year. Now we can use it here. I will call it deadline. Here it is. So now let's declare that subtask struct. Here it is. It will have again an existence integer, and a string for subject, and And seeing this subject here reminds me that we forgot the subject for task itself. We definitely want to add that. And the last one here would be the status. So now we did declare our structs, but what remains will be the array of our tasks and our subtasks. So we will have a task list first. For example, 100 members. But here is an important point. I mentioned earlier that in a header file we don't define things, we declare things. So if we let this one stay like this, the compiler will cause an error later. We will add the extern keyword here, and extern means this variable exists somewhere else. So I'm not creating it here, just telling the compiler it's defined in another C file. We will have the same for our subtask array. This one, you remember that is a 2D array. So it will have 100 arrays, each containing 10 elements. So now that we have declared everything overall except the functions, I want to show you some cool thing called macro constant. Instead of adding these numbers, we can have another thing like this. So now I can replace those numbers with these ones. It's nothing fancy, but kind of cool. Here it goes. If you've came so far, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't ever miss that next video on the backend's functionality.